we'll say last year or maybe the year before. One of those years, I think it was last year. He had a hell of a year, and it could have went either way. But I think that was his year to win it. And because I don't think anybody wants to see a 3-time back-to-back-to-back MVP winner, I think it helps Joel's case a little bit. But he's putting up the numbers, and I can't take away anything from anybody. I know you look at the history of the numbers, and we owe Kobe one, Bean should have got one, but the teams and the players that have won it were on winning teams. Steve Nash, he brought his team and he put up some unbelievable numbers. Jokic, even if he does win it this year, rightfully so, he's put up some unbelievable numbers, and his team is top in the West. He's done it, 3 years in a row. But Joel, the numbers he's putting up as well, and I don't think this has anything to do. And don't be wrong, I'm not naive to what's going on in the world. Yes, certain things do play a role in certain situations and scenarios. The media has different votes. The fact that Joel doesn't have an agent might not help him. The fact that you said back in the day, things talked about that weren't talked about now. He said a little bit. I said we move the needle a little bit more when it comes to certain categories and topics, and when it comes to, I guess, the analytics of the game. But Joel said he's made an unbelievable case the last 2 years, and I think it's overdue for him. He's definitely earned one, and he should get it this year. But I can't take away from any of the MVPs from the past and Jokic's MVPs the last 2 years and this year if he were to win it, rightfully so, because it can go to either one of those guys. And I don't think anybody in the league will be mad at it because the way that they've both been hooping, the numbers Jokic have been putting up, and the way he plays and led his team to the top in the West, which is supposed to be the tougher conference.
It's not this year. And the Sixers have a better record.
Well, you can argue that it could be because of how close the games are. You could argue that it's way more balanced out. It's tougher because, how close it said from 13 to 4 to 5, they're only separated by 3 games. That's because there's so much talent that you could argue that as well. But yeah, the West is a stacked conference. There's a lot of talent there. East is too. I think this is the most balanced we've seen the league in some time and the most open it's been. And I think that's why the games are in the East, maybe not as much, but in the West for sure. And
yeah, for sure.
Usually it's more top heavy on both sides. You can kind of predict 4 or 5 teams that'll be winners. And this year, it's not that easy.
And this year, I think I could open up my championship pool to about 8 teams. Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. Okay, so talking about Embiid in this MVP case, it does remind me of, and you were his teammate during the time, I firmly believed that Kawhi Leonard was the MVP in the year that Russell Westbrook got the MVP, because Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double, and everybody said, oh, this triple, and I was one of the people like, yeah, he's playing great, he's a great player, but look at those turnovers, look at the defensive side of the floor. Kawhi is clearly levels, not even one level.
This was a Toronto year? Was this the Toronto year?
No. This was when Westbrook won the MVP for the triple double year.
I don't know what year that was, so I'm trying to figure that out. So was he in San Antonio?
Yeah,
honestly,
when Kawhi was in San Antonio.
I think he was really young. He was really young, and I think there was other people. It's hard to not give it to a guy who averages a triple double.
No, bro.
Fair to Jokic's point.
I can't.
And I think Kawhi's best year of actually taking over the league by storm, and obviously it happened most of it in the playoffs. MVP is a regular season award.
And
he had a great year in Toronto as well. But you got to give the fact. It was the
year when you had LaMarcus. I believe it was the year when you first got LaMarcus, and he
played 9 games. No, he played.
Okay.
He didn't play that many. He didn't play enough games. And Toronto said that would have been the most arguable year for him. He just missed too many games.
He only played 41 games that year, Danny. There was
That's what I'm saying. That's the game. The most games he's played before that when he was younger might have been 60, 66, 68. And he wasn't averaging enough. He wasn't averaging 20 something. Maybe he was, but I don't think so.
Here we go. 2006, 2017. That was when Russell Westbrook. That's when he did the MVP year, right? So
16, 17. So 2017 year.
Yeah. So now I gotta. The thing is,
2016
Kawhi,
right here. Kawhi 16, 17. He averaged 17 field goal. He averaged. Let's see what we got here. Was this real?
25 points. 55, 5.5 rebounds, 3.5.
1.8 steals. Yeah, 5.8.
And then it was obviously when it was also the defensive impact. I don't want to go back and look at all the analytics that said
38
that.
from 3, 48 from the floor, 74 games.
Yeah, 74 games of Kawhi.
And what was our record that year?
It was pretty. I mean, you guys are probably the number 1 seed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but 25 back then. I said Russ averaging 30-point triple-double.
He wasn't averaging a
And
30. Was he averaging a 30-point triple-double?
yeah, bro. Like
Yeah, it
as
was.
an
It was
MVP,
30, it was 30
most MVPs average 30 points a game. And they're winning, and they bring a bad team to the playoffs. Russ brought not a bad team, but a team that wasn't good. That everybody left. KD and all of them left, and he had a hell of a year. You got to give it to him.
I'll present you the Kawhi Leonard argument for another show. I'm telling you, Kawhi should have won, but I don't have all that. I don't have all of the evidence I need for that case right now. I don't want to lose a debate without having my evidence, at least. With that being said,
54 wins, 20 losses, 9 double-doubles. He had 9 double-doubles that year.
Kawhi.
Yeah, Russ had how many triple?
I'm not trying to.
My guy, it's my guy. Love him to death, man. But I think said he had a great year that year.
No, I can't. No, we can't.
I just think because he was so young.
No, we're not doing this. It's not fair. Okay. It's not fair to Kawhi to just look at the triple doubles. That was the whole basis of the argument. You can't just base the MVP off the fact that it's a triple double when it could be inflated when you also put it against some other raw stats that are really important, like defensive plus minus, like the number of turnovers, like the efficiency of how you score. All of these things also do matter. And this is why I don't want to have the debate, because I don't have the numbers to actually prove my point.
For sure.
But you didn't say triple double. I can't beat triple double.
I didn't say just that. I'm saying there was more that went into
efficient. I can't
also
beat the word triple double.
Took a team that wasn't supposed to be that good to the playoffs. I don't know what seeding they were, but you got to remember all of the people that were in 4 or 5 seed. That MVP conversation. You forget that James Harden was averaging like 35 points a game. Like Steph Curry during that time. These guys were top teams during that time, and they were top players. You still had LeBron James and Kevin Durant that were still doing amazing things. As Kawhi had a great year, but there was too many guys that had really good years that year.
Yo, it's just like going to court, and you came to court with all of with all the documents that you need, because all you need to say is triple double. And I didn't bring my brief. I didn't bring my briefcase. You know, I need